For this recipe, you're gonna need some onions. I have some freshly chopped kale here, some corn, and these are some bean sprouts. And I also have my favorite soup mix, and this is a cock soup mix. It's so good. And I have some boiling water. Usually I'll have some mushrooms to add to this, but there is no mushrooms today, so that one's just gonna have to be skipped. So I'm gonna open this now and pour it in my pot. So I want everything to cook all at once, so everything is going to go in at once. So I'm gonna add my soup mix, so a little water in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my bean sprouts. Like, this is really good. This is a nice little vegetable soup. Or you can add meat to it if you want, but I'm not adding any meat to this one today. I'm gonna add my onions, my fresh kale, and I'm gonna add my corn. The kids really love the corn, so I'm adding corn to this one. And then you want to mix this all together, and then you want to grab some potato, because we're about to peel some potato now and cut them up into little cubes, and we're gonna make some dumpling. Just before I do that though, I'm gonna add some salt. Usually I would add 2 of the soup mix, but I only have 1, so with that we're gonna substitute and add salt instead. You just put as much salt as is needed. Next, I'm gonna grab some fresh thyme leaves that I washed and put in there, and I'm gonna also put a scotch bonnet pepper. And I'm just gonna cut a piece of scotch bonnet pepper, just a little piece, and I'm gonna drop in here also, just for that added flavor. But if you don't like a little heat, you don't have to. Just leave this in, and the heat will draw the flavor right into your soup. So our soup is looking really good. So here are my potatoes I have here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add them. And then next we're gonna work on our spinners. And spinners are like little dumplings, and we're gonna hand roll those. It's nice and hot, so I'm just pouring my carrot mixture. This just makes it a little bit thicker, and I find just gives it a nicer color and also adds to the flavor. And then we're gonna mix that in. Once it cooks down, oh my goodness, this gets so good. I have some fresh garlic here, and I'm just gonna add that. You can add a little piece of ginger too if you like. Remember, I said it's optional, so if you want to put meat in here, you can go ahead and do that. This is optional. I almost forgot the spinners that we were supposed to add. So in a bowl, you just want to add some flour. You can add a touch of salt to this if you want to. You don't have to. It's quite optional. I'm just going to add salt. Gradually, you just want to add water to this, and you want to bring this into a nice little dough. So you want to gradually do this. So we've already formed a tiny little dough, but you want to bring everything together. So just gradually add your water and just mix around. Keep in mind it's a little harder for me to do this because I am holding the camera, but you guys get the drift of what I mean. Just keep spinning until you have a dough. Keep forming, and then with the palm of your hands, just knead. So you just press in the dough to collect the rest of it. With the palm of your hands, you just knead. And then you keep adding your water. So here is my dough. So if you find that's a little bit sticky, just add more flour to it and just knead until it's not sticky anymore. But don't knead it too much because you don't want it to become too hard. So after you're done kneading, now what you want to do is just pinch a piece of your dough. Make sure you have a little flour on the plate because this can get sticky. And then you just roll it between the palm of your hands. Just roll it, and then make what we call spinners. So these are dumplings, just in a different shape, just spinners, and then you can just go ahead and add them to your pot. This will also help to thicken up your soup, and then you can add as many as you want. If you don't want to add spinners, you can make small little tiny circle dumplings. You can even make circle dumplings. It's really up to you. Experiment with it, have fun with it. It's your food. Just make as many as these as needed and add them to your pot. Once you have all your dumplings in, you can go ahead and mix it together now. Once you're done mixing that in, you want to taste to make sure it's your desired taste. If not, add salt or more water if you salted it too much. And you want to cover this and let it cook for about 15 to 30 minutes depending on the size that you're cooking. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to come back and check on this in about 15 minutes and see how it's doing. So it's been about 25 minutes since my soup has been cooking. And as you see, it's doing really good. It's thickened up. It's thickened up a bit. I'm going to go ahead and mix everything in now. That's my timer. That looks good. Everything looks good. So your soup's pretty much done. So now you can go ahead and serve.